Hi everyone, we're the leaders of the Software Business Accelerator, or SOBA. I'm Emma Green, the business team lead.
I'm Alan Lee, the development team lead.
Hey Alan, what has a flower crown, a long pink tongue, sparkly cheeks, and rainbows coming out of its mouth?
I don't know.
The SOBA team on Team Culture Night dressed as Snapchat filters.
That wasn't funny, Emma. Regardless, it shows how connected the team has gotten throughout the semester and how interconnected we've grown. We've done a lot of fun things throughout the semester.
Like spending hours in the car together stuck in game day traffic, trying to get to Heyday, stuck mere miles from the office.
Playing with Church How's dog Pickles, who's way too cute and small to exist.
And working really hard to develop well-reasoned insights and an actionable product for our wonderful client, Consumer Affairs.
Each member of the team has brought unique strengths to the project. Sean has had a clear vision throughout the development process and is always he articulates his ideas well. Church How's easygoing personality has helped with the longer nights of development that we've gone through. Sri is action-oriented and has been flexible as we face various challenges in the project. And Anna is always well-prepared and produces excellent results and expects the same from her team members.
And on the business team, Minori is sweet to her teammates but tough on business problems. Kaylee's insightful questions test us and make us stronger. Prannoy inspires his teammates to feel as passionate about our work as he does. And Paula is always cool under pressure and always brings her best work forward. And keep in mind, all of this is at 6:45 a.m. every Thursday.
And although we don't always agree on the same things, like whether we'd give up sweet or salty foods if we had to.
Obviously salty, you can't live without frosting.
But there's salt in every food, Emma.
Whatever, Alan. We can agree on one thing. We're so proud of our team and what they're going to show you today. So without further ado, here's Team Consumer Affairs.
Over 90% of consumers read reviews before making purchases online. This research is conducted for various products ranging from small daily objects to products that have higher financial implications, such as purchasing home, cars, and products related to that. Consumer Affairs help these activities with their resource on their website. This semester, SOBA team has been working with Consumer Affairs to find ways to expand their business. With our research, we've identified 3 important aspects for Consumer Affairs to consider. First, a new target market. Second, website features which will increase conversion rate, and personalization features which will increase retention rate. With our research, we've identified 16 million women as a new target market for Consumer Affairs. Developer team have created a prototype backed up by user testing, which will include visualization and personalization features. Aspect rating will allow Consumer Affairs to provide their information in a clear and unbiased manner to their consumers. With all the strategies combined will result in 42% increase in conversion rate and 20% increase in retention rate. This will lead to $1.15 million increase in revenue in the 5th year of the implementation. I'm Minori Matsuzawa, senior economics student from Japan.
I'm Kaylee Kimbrough, and I'm a sophomore majoring in accounting and economics from Greenville, Texas.
My name is Prannoy Behera, and I am a junior majoring in computer engineering and mathematics from Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
I'm Anna Young, and I'm a senior majoring in computer engineering from Chillicothe, Missouri.
And I'm Paula Tran. I'm a senior management information systems major from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
And with the rest of the developer team, our team leads, our fellow, and our client, or Team Consumer Affairs. Since the foundation, Consumer Affairs have helped consumers make best decision possible when they have life's most important purchase. They've also helped their partner brands with their valuable consumer insights. Consumer Affairs provide information about brands on their website, so when the consumer visits their website, they receive information about brands in the forms of ratings, reviews, and listings. They're also important contributors to Consumer Affairs contents as they provide the reviews. When a user has an interaction on their website, such as clicking onto the links to the partner brand's website or provide their information, then Consumer Affairs receive revenue from the partner brands. Although consumer affairs rely on this brand partnership for their revenue, this does not affect the information that consumer receives. The action plan for consumer affairs will focus on consumer interaction, which will include 3 important parts: target market, ways to increase conversion rate, and ways to increase retention rate. Throughout the presentation, the tracker at the bottom will correspond to these 3 points. Our action plan for consumer affairs will address each interaction of consumers on their website. First, consumer affairs can utilize social media to draw more customers into their website. Once consumers reach the website, consumer affairs can provide clear messaging in order to encourage interactions, which will result in revenue for consumer affairs. Expansion of user count will allow consumer affairs to have platform to collect user information. This will allow consumer affairs to reflect this information as personalized recommendation. This will increase percentage of customers who are willing to create a user account. Finally, consumer affairs can provide aspect ratings, which will allow consumer affairs to have clear messaging, which is important in increasing trust and website loyalty. Now we have an overview of the action plan. Our team will dive into the details, including the demonstration of the website. Now I'll hand this over to Kaylee to explain the first part of the action plan, new target market.
Thanks, Minori. Consumer affairs should target a market of 16 million U.S. women between ages 18 and 49 who are married and have a household income of over $100,000 a year, as these women are best suited for consumer affairs' highly profitable content offerings. We narrowed the market by first focusing on U.S. consumers, as consumer affairs brands are located in the U.S. Further narrowed to women, as women make 85% of all consumer purchases. We narrowed to women ages 18 and 49, as this age group is most likely to report always reading a review before making a purchase. Further narrowed to married women, as these consumers make purchases both for themselves and their partner and dependents. And narrowed to those with a household income of over $100,000, as these consumers are just as likely to report conducting research on their purchases. Consumer affairs can expect to see an increase in referral revenue with these consumers who are highly suited to their most valuable content offerings. Going forward, consumer affairs should target brands located in suburbs with high rates of home ownership and median incomes above $100,000, as consumers in these areas are most likely to want to be connected to those brands. Finally, consumer affairs will be able to improve its reputation among brands by referring customers in this target market who are twice as likely to complete a purchase upon referral. To capture these women, consumer affairs will need to use an ad retargeting tool like Facebook Pixel. Women in the target market are far more likely, spend far more time purchasing and researching the products most valuable to consumer affairs. These include home and auto insurance, home security systems, moving services, and life insurance. While this target market conducts far more research on these services than the general population, they're still researching these categories in relatively narrow time windows throughout the year. Thus, consumer affairs needs to use an ad retargeting tool such as Facebook Pixel to target the women who have already looked at a category such as auto insurance on their website, and then remind them on Facebook at the optimal time to come back and complete the referral process. Now that we understand who consumer affairs target market is and what their purchasing habits look like, Prannoy will discuss how consumer affairs can stand out from its competition.
Thanks, Kaylee. Consumer affairs can address concerns of partiality, can address the needs that have been left behind by consumers in the target market because of their competitors' lack of addressing those needs, and increase outreach to the target market by implementing this action plan. And there's 3 key portions to this action plan. The first being personalization, that of personalizing content, personalizing the emails that go out to the actual consumer, or personalize the recommendations they received. Personalization in general of content on the website can increase the click-through rate by 28%, meaning more consumers are converted from just looking at the site to becoming actual consumers on the site. The second portion is aspect ratings. Aspect ratings are important because 73% of consumers in our target market do some form of secondary research to verify any of the products that they buy on a daily basis. So information must be communicated in a clear manner that can communicate the most information in an impartial manner, and that's where aspect ratings comes in. And finally, the matching tool. 84% of consumers in our target market identified honesty and impartiality as the number one concern that they have when associating with any brand. So the matching tool, which is already a unique feature offered by Consumer Affairs, is only made better because the developers work to add more honest and impartial messaging to the matching tool's user interface. So looking at implementation of this action plan, the first key implementation portion will be that of aspect ratings. Implementing aspect ratings in the manner described here will increase the retention by 32% while addressing the needs of the target market. And that key figure of 32% is arrived in three different ways. The first is the visual presentation. This new matrix-style approach, rather than a simple paragraph that lists out the benefits of a certain brand, allows the return rate to increase by 32%, the number of consumers who are willing to come back once they've already seen the information. That 32% increase is caused because consumers are more likely to remember the information. The retention rate of the information 3 days later increased by 65% when testing among consumers. The second key portion is the column on the far right and the column on the far left. Information collected about how they actually went about getting the information for the aspect ratings is crucial because it makes the site look more impartial and increases the likelihood of a sale happening on the site by 36%. Because 68% of consumers believed that the site became more impartial because they realized that 25 out of 56 people found it useful, or that this information was based out of 3,900 reviews. And finally, the information at the top row. Information, or ratings rather, like customer service, cost, shipping policy, and other ratings that focus on the end-to-end user experience increase the click-through rate by 17%. All this information was collated to arrive at that 32% retention rate number. All in all, by implementing aspect ratings, retention rate of the website increases by 32%. And now I'll hand it off to Anna to talk about the great work the developers have done in implementing this action plan across the website.
Thank you, Pranoy. The development team has created a prototype that incorporates the three primary insights of the team. It increases customer retention through a life change dashboard and personalized suggestions. It also increases a sense of transparency for who Consumer Affairs is by adding an About Us link to the navigation bar and helping to make the matching tool more clear. In order to develop our prototype, we have used HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python. We've been able to conduct user testing, put our prototype in front of users, and receive valuable feedback. We will now show you how a user will view our improved design. As you can see on the home page here, there is currently no recommendations. This is what Consumer Affairs website currently looks like. Now, as a user navigates to create an account, input their information, we can see at the bottom of the screen, they are getting ready to input the life change they are going through. For this user, it's going to be financial independence. More on this later. Now that the user is logged in, we can see that recommendations have populated on the home page. And as the user is free now to use the site, browse around, or in this case, make a search query, eventually returning to the home page, we can see that the recommendations have changed. It was only recommendations for travel initially, and now we have incorporated suggestions for insurance based on the recent search query. This is a new feature that we have added and not something that is currently available for Consumer Affairs. Now, let's take a look at the dashboard. The dashboard organizes categories and products related to a specific event in a user's life. So as you saw, our users selected financial independence as something that they were going through, so they have a financial independence dashboard. One of the features of this dashboard is the to-do list that auto-populates common purchasing decisions related to their specific life change. And during our user testing, 67% of users said that the to-do list added value to the dashboard. Now let's take a look at the matching tool. The matching tool is a popular tool on Consumer Affairs website that matches users with a company based on a few short questions, as you can see here. And when the user reaches the end of the matching tool, if they are already logged into their account, they can simply check the box to release their information to the company. This is different than Consumer Affairs' current website, where a user who is logged in would have to re-enter their information in order to be matched. During our initial feedback of the website, users expressed concern giving their information to a company that they knew nothing about. We sought to improve this by adding the blurred image and statistic that you see here. During our later user testing, one user said, "The statistic made me feel more comfortable that I would be helped." The matching tool is a primary source of revenue for Consumer Affairs, so we made an additional design, this time for a user who does not currently have an account. You can see how our new design compares to the original here. During our user testing, 77% of users said that they would be more willing to give their information to the new version of the matching tool over the original. We contribute this to the statistic and the blurred image mentioned earlier. Also, an exciting fact we discovered during our user testing was 80% of users who were already willing to share their information at the end of the matching tool were also willing to create an account. This is an opportunity for Consumer Affairs to increase the number of accounts and ensure that those customers come back and benefit from the changes we have designed. Now that you've seen a user's personalized experience, here's Paula, who will talk about the financial implications of our suggestions.
Thank you, Anna. So the action plan will add new users from the target market, increase the lead conversion rate, and increase the retention rate. Right now, the team has identified that the target market is 16 million users. Using Facebook Pixel and enhanced user account, we can acquire about 142,000 new users from this target market. Facebook Pixel will identify what the lookalike audience is and what's the best way to target them. With the enhanced user account, we can use social media login to make the ease of creating an account much easier. With the second part for lead conversion rate, this uses the matching tool and the aspect ratings. The matching tool can increase the current rate by 42%, while the aspect rating can increase the current rate by 17%. For the first year, Consumer Affairs can increase their lead conversion rate from 1.27% to 1.8%. Last, with the retention rate, this is influenced by email personalization and the Life Changes dashboard. Studies have shown that having content that is personalized based on the users and showing recommendations that are personalized will increase retention rates by 20%, leading to an increase from 4.8% to 5.8%. Overall, this will give Consumer Affairs a profit of $1.15 million at year 5. Right now, their current leads are around 693,000 per year. The bottom green table shows the new leads that can be generated from the new target market and existing. From the matching tool, this increases the lead conversion rate by 42% for the first 2 years, and then the additional 17% from the aspect rating starting from year 3 and so on, for an average increase of 48% at the end of 5 years. The costs are expected to remain constant with being salaries, except with the additional employee at year 3 being the data analyst that can monitor the aspect ratings. At the end of year 5, Consumer Affairs can achieve a profit of $1.5 million through a plan that can be achieved within 15 months. The first 3 things that can be implemented the easiest are the email personalization, social media targeting, and the user account. These can be implemented the easiest due to its ease of implementation and lack of time. The 3 that are quite more difficult to implement through the website due to the algorithm are the matching tools, aspect ratings, and the Life Changes dashboard. Overall, Consumer Affairs can achieve this plan within 15 months, achieving a profit of $1.15 million at year 5, targeting a market and acquiring new users of 142,000, increasing their lead conversion rate to 1.8% and increasing their retention rate to 5.8%. Thank you so much to Consumer Affairs for giving us such an amazing opportunity to work with them and learn how to develop a website. And thank you and shout out to Alan and Emma for the amazing SOBA meetings and our weekly high-lows. We will now open the floor for questions. Yes.
Do you have any more plans to get user feedback on the website?
So your question is if we have any more plans to get user feedback on the website. Yes, we do. Actually, this Thursday we are going to an expo and have an excellent opportunity to get a lot more user feedback before we turn over our final insights to Consumer Affairs.
Yes.
What portions of the prototype do you want feedback on? What parts you must build?
We are primarily, well, we're looking at feedback on all of it, but the matching tool has been a big source of understanding just how much we can increase the conversion rate for them and how to do that. So that is one huge focus we'll be doing.
How will you ensure future customer reviews on new products and services?
So your question is, how are we ensuring that the users who enter the website will leave a review on the website?
We'll leave a review for new products that Consumer Affairs has listed on the website.
Gotcha. So right now, the next steps could be looking in the target market and seeing if having the social media account will make them more likely to leave a review on the website and having that post on the social media, but that's for next steps.
Just to supplement that answer, the way Consumer Affairs review collection system works is it's more of just cold calling consumers and in specific areas they want to focus on, and then kind of like a poll for a presidential election, just calling people in a certain area and then using statistical analysis to make sure that it's representative of the whole range of people they want to focus on. So it's more the recommendations and the action plan that we have here almost independent of them leaving a review, and Consumer Affairs' great strategies to collect customer data.
We have time for one more question.
I think you said that 80% of the people that were willing to share their information were also willing to make an account, but what percentage of people were not willing to share their information?
Yeah, from our user testing so far, about 50% of them were willing to share their information and the other 50 were not.